Hello and welcome to Olympic Stats Zone. I'm Mihir Mankad, and over the next 15 minutes, I'm going to try to bring you the highlights of all the Indian action and the international action at the Tokyo Olympics. So let's get going. And we have to start with the best performance of an Indian athlete today. A little earlier in the day, we had women's discus thrower Kamalpreet Kaur throwing a massive 64 meters to finish, get this, second amongst all the athletes, the best in the world in her heat round. So 64 meters is short of last Olympics 69 meters, but this put her in the second place after Valerie Allman of the United States. She does qualify to go into the final, and all eyes will be on her. The prospect of a track and field medal for India is something that will be bringing tremendous joy if it comes. There was another discus thrower in the fray, and today we had veteran Seema Punia. She also hurled her best, crossed 60 meters. 60.57 was her best attempt. Not enough to qualify for the final, but we salute her for her services to Indian athletics, and she has surely been an influence on the younger Kamalpreet Kaur. We had one more athlete on the track and the field today, and that was India's Sri Shankar. Now, Sri Shankar was competing in the long jump event. In the qualification round, he jumped a massive 7.69 meters, 7.7 almost, is an incredible feat for an Indian athlete. He finished, though, in the middle of the pack, 13th, unfortunately not qualifying for the next round, but surely doing the country proud. Okay, from athletics, let's go into our national sport. And today, the Indian women were in a must-win game. They were playing the once mighty South Africans, right now mighty in the world, but towards the middle and lower pack of the field. But India had to win. 4-3 win for the Indian Eves has secured their place in the next round. 4 teams qualify from each groups. India was 1-0 up, equalized 2-0 against South African, equalized 3-3. And at the 49th minute, we had an incredible feat. For the first time, we had a hat-trick in the Olympics by Vandana Kataria, who brought her country into the next round. Okay, now in hockey again, Ireland lost, so India has qualified. But speaking of a loss and a heartbreaking loss, we had PV Sindhu playing in the semi-finals today of badminton. Rio Games silver medalist, this time too much. Tai Tzu Ying, world #1 badminton player, one of the greatest badminton players from the Chinese Taipei, formerly known as Taiwan. Tzu Ying's prowess came through quite a bit as the match progressed. A first game was close, but not enough. Sindhu will now play in the bronze medal match against He Bingjiao of China. She had last beaten Bingjiao by a score of 21-19, 21-19 in 2019. So let's hope that that result comes back, but no gold medal in badminton. Well, boxing had prospects of gold medals. In fact, 8 of the 9 pugilists in boxing were actually ranked in the top 10 of the world rankings. But today, Amit Panghal, world #1 boxer, going against Martinez of Colombia, came short 1-4. Martinez is a silver medalist from the Rio Games. Amit, surely disappointed in this match, bows out in the first round of the 48 to 52 kg flyweight categories. These athletes have to keep their weight down, and they have to be nimble and strong. No more for Amit Panghal at these Olympics. Speaking of pugilists also, we had Pooja Rani. Pooja Rani, with all the preparation, the spirit of representing her country, ran into a steam train. World #1, world champion Li Chan of China decimated her opponent this time. A volley of blows, one after the other, was enough to knock Pooja Rani out of contention. In fact, this was a unanimous decision, 5-0. So bad results for the boxers, unfortunate results in badminton, and an athlete who gave his very best, who had beaten the world #3 in the past round, actually lost today to Takaharu Furukawa, we're talking about Atanu Das. Atanu Das competing in the recurve in the archery individual event. No luck in terms of medals for the Indians in the mixed and the doubles in the team event, but in this individual 1/8 eliminations, he lost out to Furukawa, but look at those scores. It came down to the 5th game there, and in this one, 1 point separating the archers. So again, he lost to a worthy opponent. Atanu is ranked number 9. He was playing an opponent ranked much higher. Came up short today. Thank you for your service and for your effort, Atanu. Now from archery, we had another aiming sport, and we had shooting today. In the fray were 2 athletes from India, Anjum Mudgal. She had a fine performance. You can see her scores in the 3-position rifles, including in a position where they have to be lying down on the ground. Her scores, unfortunately, not good enough in shooting. She finished with 1,154 points, 1,167, which put her in the 15th position. The winner of this category set an Olympic record. So the competition went up. Anjum not good enough to get to the final round and win a medal. Also, Tejaswini Sawant was competing today. She finished with 1,154. A bit disappointing for her in 33rd position. Our shooters are shooting. They just need to shoot a bit more accurately to bring in the Hall of Medals. It's looking lean right now, but we have some of the world's best shooters, just not at the podium level as was shown at these Olympics. Okay, from shooting, how about another sport in which there was unprecedented participation? In sailing, we had Ganpati and Varun Thakkar competing and finishing in a respectful 10th place here in the sailing for the 49er skiff event. Hats off to these athletes for competing. And they were also ones that I think held the Indian flag for race after race. They made it to race 10. Okay, from sailing, we had Indian participation in another sport, one of swings, and 2 Indian male golfers were competing. In golf, Anirban Lahiri couldn't match up to his 8th place finish in round 1. He had a bad round 2. Round 1, 4 under par. Round 2, 1 over par. And in round 3, again, 4 under par. But this moves him from 8th place to 20th place. And if you talk about Udayan Mane, he was in last place after round 1. He's gone up a few spots to 57th. These 2 golfers are competing. Anirban has tweeted that he hopes for a lot of good golfing luck tomorrow to finish in the podium. It's low probability, great performance. Okay, that was a roundup of Indian athletes. There's so much going on at these games. Let's take some of the top stories for international athletes. And let's start with the sport of tennis. One of the greatest of all times was competing and looking like a steam train until he was ousted in the semi-finals, shockingly yesterday by Alex Zverev. Today, he was in the bronze medal match. Novak Djokovic losing to Pablo Carreño Busta after being up by a set. And bringing out a tiebreaker in his favor, but just losing that match, losing his cool too because he threw one racket in the stand, broke another one, and being upset. No medals for the steam train who was going for a golden Grand Slam. Not only that, Novak Djokovic pulled out of the mixed doubles event with his partner Stojanovic in a surprising move, so they could have gotten a medal there. Djokovic is going to leave Olympics Tokyo without a single medal. In more international action, we talk about a team sport. And in rugby, the Kiwis, the Black Caps, taking that silver medal from last time and converting it into a gold. In fact, Ruby Tui, who is a member of this Rugby Sevens team for New Zealand, said, I brought that last silver medal and I was looking at it every day in the games. They had a heartbreaking loss to Australia, the neighbors last time, this time against France. Obliteration win, 26-12, a gold medal for the Kiwis. Continuing with international action, we also saw some good action in the sport of archery. In fact, there was a number of archers. We talked about Atanu Das on fray. And in this case, we had a first. In archery, we had a first gold medal for a Turkish sharpshooter. In fact, Mete Gazaz has the first gold medal in the games for him. An outstanding score. It was a record-breaking score. But remember this, India's Lavlina Borgohen is going to play another Turkish athlete who has promised the president of Turkey that she will come back with a medal and hopefully gold. So this was their first, and India will be against Turkey in boxing very soon. We also talk about another sport in which world records are being set all over the place. We know in the sport of swimming, we have a legendary athlete who is all of 24. She competed and got her first gold medal in this event, in the 800 meters freestyle event 8 years ago as a 16-year-old. She got the gold at the last game. She came back for a hat trick of golds in this one. She has added this gold to the 1500 meter gold, and she's now the most decorated female swimmer at the Olympics. She has now, Katie Ledecky now has 10 Olympic medals, and 7 of them are the golden color. Now, we also have some action that came up in weightlifting. And as we'll see here on our screen, in weightlifting, we had Liu Xiaojun, who won the gold in the 81 kg category and sets a new Olympic record of snatch, 170 massive kgs, and then clean and jerk, 204 kgs for 374 kgs for this gentleman here. Not very gentle when he's lifting those weights attached to the bar. Also, we had some action now in track and field at an international level, and we had the women's 100-meter sprint final. You see that flag there on your screen? That is the Jamaican flag. A podium sweep. All 3 Jamaicans won, and it was defending champion Elaine Thompson-Herah who got her title despite not being the favorite. She improved her timing by 1/10 of a second and defeated highly favorite and mom Fraser, who finished second. In fact, Shelley Ann Fraser-Price was highly touted to win, and Elaine Thompson-Herah had a nagging Achilles injury. She overcame that, repeated here. Also, in other news, in the 10,000 meters, Solomon Borega of Ethiopia also caused a huge upset when he beat 2 fancied Ugandan runners, including world champion Joshua Cheptegei, to win his gold. So much going on, so little time to bring it to you. So that's a roundup. Now, what about what's coming up tomorrow? Let's take a look at what's coming up tomorrow in terms of action for Indian athletes. In hockey, India is now into the playoff. Lose and go home, win advance. India will take on the mighty Great British team after scintillating form in the last few games at the playoff stage of hockey. Also, we will be featured in the combat sport of boxing. So, Indian athlete in boxing in contention in the super heavyweight category. We have Satish Kumar taking on Bakhtir Zololov. This opponent is going to be quite a handful. The fact that we have a super heavyweight competing plus 91 kg is quite amazing. He needs to win this to guarantee a medal. In addition, golf will continue. Round 4. We talked about Anirban Lahiri. He'll be hoping that both his short and long game gives him enough birdies, and he needs a few eagles to pull out a miracle here. But both our athletes will be competing in round 4. And for the first time, we have an equestrian athlete here too. Fawad Mirza will be on his horse in the cross-country round. In fact, we saw his fine performance in dressage. And now we will see him in the cross-country round now. As far as the medals go, yeah, where Indian is not at the top, but what's becoming more and more clear is that superpower China is going to look like emerging right at the top. They have overtaken Japan, who remarkably were at the top of the table for 4 days, no longer. 46 medals for China and 46 medals for the United States, but the difference is 5 more golds for China. Japan's efficiency is fabulous. 17 out of 30 medals have been gold. United States, 1/3 golds. The Russian Olympic Committee is in 4th place, and at this stage, India is moved out of the 50s. It is in 60s, but we will surely get another boxing medal, so that will push us up. That's how the medal tally is working out. How is your tally working out in terms of following the sports and the Olympics? Remember, this is a festival. We have about a week to go, and don't miss out on it. I'll be here every night bringing you the highlights in this powertrain of a monologue. For right now, have a good night.
दूरदर्शन की फ्री डीटीएच सर्विस डीडी फ्री डिश, जो 108 टीवी चैनल और 50 से भी ज्यादा रेडियो चैनल बिना किसी मासिक शुल्क के उपलब्ध कराता है। प्रसार भारतीज ऐप न्यूज ऑन एयर, अवेलेबल ऑन एंड्रॉइड एंड iOS, is one stop shop for news, entertainment, education